Good evening, everyone. Today I am here to present on the topic recent designing trends. So these are my contents which I am going to discuss today. Firstly, introduction to the website. Actually, all of we are developers here, so website is a platform to show the information about company, people, or anything through the worldwide. Basically, the tools used to develop websites are HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML is used to basically to develop the layouts, and CSS for styling the layouts, and JavaScript finally for the interaction of the site. Okay, so web design. Web design. What is web design? Design is process of collecting ideas, aesthetically arranging and implementing them in different platforms. It may be web design, graphic design. So there are certain principles guided in such a design. Elements that are used in web designs are layout, colors, graphic, fonts, and content. When these all elements are perfectly matched, only then the design looks better. Basically, the designing is much more harder than developing because we have to design through our creativity. Okay, this is the first build website. It was built in 1991 by Tim Berners-Lee, who is also the developer of www, World Wide Web. So when he developed the website, it looks normally nothing, just the HTML content and some anchor tags. And later on, the design looks something like this when it came with the CSS and JavaScript. And finally, today, the design looks something like this with different shapes, animations, and the hover effects. Okay, now let's discuss on recent design trends. So recent design, number one, it is full width design. Basically, before the design used to be with 100,000 pixel or 1200 pixel, which used to be centered, and the left right content used to be blank or background colored. Nowadays the design are with full width with background images, colors, and many more. And next trend is responsive. What is responsive? Responsive means developing a different view at a different devices. Basically, we use CSS grid layout and Bootstrap for responsive, and also the media queries. This is a small example for media query, where we have written media query screen and maximum width 425 means 0 to with up to 425. The font size for H1 is kept 32. Sometimes what happens is when in our design heading goes up to 60 pixel, so in a mobile device the 60 pixel looks a bit bigger in size, so we need to decrease the size. So here I have done a small example with up to maximum with 425. The font size for H1 is 32 pixels. Okay, let's see the example for responsive. Sorry. This is the design, how it looks in bigger computer view. Now in a mobile device. And in a tablet view. So the design is different at different view, which is managed by Bootstrap and a media query. Geometric shapes, lines, and pattern. At the older sites, the shapes only becomes rectangle, squares, and a circle. Nowadays there are different kind of shapes. Here we can see in a hexagon. There are different shapes, and this is one of the trend in today's websites. Now parallax effect. Parallax effects is also has become today's trend, where the background image are slower and the foreground image are on the foreground content are faster than the background images. Let's see the example. Next. Now scroll animation. Scroll animation means animation on a scroll. Sometimes when you keep on scrolling, the contents are changed. Sometimes comes from right, sometimes appears in between the context. Sometimes image appear from the top. Different things happen, and these are because of scroll animations. The library or plugin, there are different libraries and plugins that we can find. And some of them are Scroll Magic, Scroll Reveal, Bootstrap, Scroll Pipe plugin, Wow.js, and CSS3 Animate it. So let's see the example for this. This is the small example of scroll animation using scrollmagic.io. And the next in recent trends are CSS animation and hover effects. Basically, previously we used to do such animations using the JavaScript jQuery. Nowadays, CSS3 has made it a lot easier. So we can do, here is the example for hover as well as animation, anchor, hover. And we basically use the keyframe rule while using the animations. You can keep the animation name, duration, iteration count, or basically you can do everything in a single line by keeping the animation and all the properties of it. And this is a keyframes example. Before we keep animation name example, so same we use in a keyframe rule. Okay, we can do in two ways. Okay, the above example in above CSS, it is like from to, where if in anchor hover, what happens is when we take mouse and hover it, it gets background color red to yellow. And we can also do by it, we can also do it by using percentage, like 0%, 25%, 50, 75, and 100 finally. What it does it, at first at 0%, it does this, it takes these properties of CSS, then till 25 it takes the same, and after 25 it takes 100 CSS, and in the same way till the 100% it takes different CSS that it kept inside the curly brackets. So let's see the animation example for this one. Here you can see the hover effects. As well as the small animation effect. And I forgot to say another trend is using background videos. Nowadays most of the people also do use videos as a background, and stylus. This is not in my topic. Actually, why I wanted to say this is we have listened of less and sass in a CSS processor, and I have found this is something new which is called stylus CSS processor. It is node based CSS processor. Okay, it is a Pythonic, means the coding standard is similar to a Pythonic. Everything is similar like in SAS and less, but what I find different is coding standard. Basically, we don't need to give any curly brackets. Okay, it has made a lot easier. It also works even when we do not keep the semicolons, like in this example. And finally, and it also works even if there isn't any, I mean, colon after border radius, there isn't colon, but still it works. And that's all.